Let's go!
Let's go, sir.
Finally! Oh my god, I'm so happy Saif is here, Babu. So cute. But Saif, first of all, I want to know, what do you think about, I don't know, as a project, as a venture, whatever.
Damn, it's not a venture for sure.
As a whole new civilization of art, what do you think?
Big words.
I think two things. One, if you see the podcast
Not just the
industry
podcast,
right
even
now,
the videos.
okay, the thing that
Let
you're
him-
doing,
Yeah.
if you see, it's always more about the guest. Like, if you launch a podcast, it is always about the guest. The value addition that happens to that episode is always based upon the guest.
Mhm.
Like, how big of a guest you can get, and that is like related to the amount of views that you get.
Traction we'll get, yeah.
Yes. And you guys are doing it in a different way, where your primary focus is you two guys. Is your personality is what the audience is coming for.
Hmm.
So that is one thing you are doing different.
Hmm.
Two, as you guys were telling me about, that you guys wanted to do something different with an episode. Let's say this table. You told for the previous episode you use this table. So for this episode you don't want to use this. So every episode you're iterating upon your creative act.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
That is a second great thing that I found.
Where do you see, what is your opinion? Do you think of it as something, what is your, like, when you think of AI, I don't know, what do you think of it as? When, if I were to talk about something, if I think of build pod, the word carries some gravity. The word for me, build pod, is literally a podcast, a proper gathering of people talking about building real shit. That's what the word
means,
at
yeah.
face value means to me. What does AI, I don't know, mean to you at face value? What does it seem like?
I think there's no clear objective for your podcast. As if you take an example of BuildPod, the target audience or the kind of value that we want to provide to the audience is very clear.
Mhm.
We already have a set of, rules or ideas that we want to convey to the audience.
Right.
But I think with AI don't know, it's a creative act is what I feel.
What do you think about the video part of it?
Yes, I told you, you guys want to do something different on every episode.
Mm-hmm.
But the main constant or the main pillars of the podcast is you both.
Right.
You both
Right.
are constant, and everything else, from the equipment here, from the things, from the chairs, or maybe because of the edits, everything is changing for each episode. So it's a creative act that you're doing.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've not seen in any podcast, where I am excited about what new can I see as a visual treat to my eyes.
Yeah.
Get
That
it?
is such a good way of putting that thing
Exactly.
out. Damn.
Like, yes, I see the thumbnail, I see both of you, but I also want to see what kind of a different perspective or different kind of edits or different kind of setups that you guys have done. Because you guys are iterating for each episode.
Right.
So I'm curious as an audience, when I click on the episode, I'll be like, what else is there? So I'll be kind of hooked or engaged to see what else is coming. Because it's new.
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't imagine of.
Usually, most of the mainstream or even a podcast, when you know that a podcast is there, it is usually mainstream. There are no like not so famous podcasts which are something we know. If there is a proper podcast, it is mainstream. So when you look at them, they follow a structure. Like there will be a guest, there will be expensive mics, there will be basically.
Okay,
the
so I
setups
think you're
are-
saying, like, to be, because the mainstream works out, every other podcast follows that
Exactly.
structure. Okay.
But-
And I feel like there is this other point, this is completely not related to what you're saying, but I feel like we as creators we should do this more often. When you mentioned that as an audience, as someone who's sitting in the audience and who is curious as to what else are we doing, that is a question.
Gives us a new perspective.
That is a question that we should be asking ourselves as creators constantly. If we were watching our own shit, what more would we be looking for? What is the other different thing we'd be doing? If we were
can
on,
do this better.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, like that.
That'll actually help us figure out where to go better, where to actually evolve.
Yeah, make the curve more
right? Because when we are judging our own video independently, free of the thought that we put hours and hours into it, we are open to all kinds of
interpretations
exactly
and brand new
what is going
perceptions.
wrong, right? That is, I feel like that is such a good.
What is going wrong, right?
I think the notion or the ideology of thinking different works in creative acts is because, see, if you see a creative, he's always different from the crowd. If you see, there's a meme, the guy who makes the art is completely very different. His hair is out, he wears some designer specs, he wears very funky type of clothes, something that doesn't match. Okay, so but because of that unparalleled things, unmatched things, he gets a different outcome than others.
Like combining two unusual things together.
Yes. So if you guys are always striving to do something different, while you're doing something different, you're also experiencing different experiences. Because of those experiences, new outcomes are made. So the idea of making different things or having a different approach can lead to something new. That which is creative.
I love how he puts things out. This is something I really love about Saif, is whatever he expresses, no, even though it's a simple idea, the way he put it out, you are doing things differently. We spoke a lot of times about doing things differently. Me and Jay doing things differently, but our perspective is we are doing things differently from the crowd. We are doing things differently. Sometimes we go in the line of thinking of something like we are doing it for the sake of doing different things, or we are doing different things.
We had this conversation in the last podcast.
Exactly.
Doing it for the sake of it is not something.
You are doing different things and you are experiencing different things, and thus you are actually getting different results. That's such a good way to put it. I love
different,
this.
And main thing is we are getting new outcomes. It's not the same thing that the other person does or can replicate, which is because when you're trying to put raw experiences, usually they cannot be replicated.
I think the idea of being better is a very it's a false approach. I think everybody is different. Everybody is unique. And if you put in the idea of think different, you're always in race with yourself. If you think differently, if you think through your lenses or through your perspectives, you're in a way
Not
in
getting
competition
fixed
with
to
yourself.
Not
And
getting
there's
fixed
no
into a same thing. Like a lot of YouTubers follow the same editing style, same themes. I mean, it works for them, but following a structured thing, following a structure, restrictions kill creativity. Like school.
I would like to add on to Saif's point. I think, when he said about people focus on things differently, and you said about you creators restricting themselves to a specific line of content because it works, I think sort of bringing both of them together, you don't have to try to think different, right? Saif said, as he said, you don't have to try to think different because you are seeing the world through your own lens. That is the most unique thing you can have. That is literally, if you have a superpower, if I have a superpower, it's the fact that I can see the world because as Ashfaq Ahmed.
Yes.
Right?
Nobody else can do that. There are 8 billion people, there are 10 billion people. Now there are humanoid robots also. But no humanoid robot, no human can think like you. So that lens that you have is more precious than anything.
You don't even have to put in the effort of trying to think differently. It's already there in you. You just have to see it. You just have to realize it. That's so
There's a book I would like to recommend called The Creative Arc. It's from a guy called Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
That guy is bonkers.
So
You know this guy?
Yeah, I'll tell one story related to him. So originally Kanye's fifth studio album, which is gonna be Thank God for Drugs. It was 3 hours long, 3 hours long worth of music, and then Rick Rubin and him worked for 13 days straight, I think, for 14 continuous hours of work, and then they condensed it and made it so minimalist that it was some 8 songs worth of 1 hour, and then we got Yeezus.
So basically, what this guy does is he's a professional decomposer.
Oh, okay.
Decomposer.
Okay.
So-
Keep going. Keep going.
Exactly
Artists
what I
like,
told.
You know, Jay-Z or Kanye go to him to decompose what they have produced. And
Putting a proper meaning.
yes,
Like
so what he
make
does
a-
is
makes a flow.
he removes the
Unwanted.
elements that are not necessary in the music or whatever it is. And people go to him because of his perspective, because of his taste. Because he has a unique taste and he can sort through it and he can clearly put that and also be confident in it. Most people have a different perspective, but they're not confident about it.
Exactly.
You should be confident that
Yes.
your lens is clear.
One thing I was gonna tell earlier was how our perceptions are being dictated mostly by social media.
Correct.
Like, let's take, you watch a reel. That guy says his opinion on creatine and justifies it. So most of the people, if that is convincing enough, they fall into the opinion that creatine is not good for you. But if you are like that, you are susceptible to manipulation. You can get your mind changed easily. You have this opinion today, you change it tomorrow. I mean, it's a process, but it happens so fast that you don't know what you stand by.
So you're suggesting that in a way, things like these external factors, sort of stain your lens.
Yes, the
Right?
lens is
They
made by those experiences.
Yeah, but it happens so fast that you don't know what lens you are using. Your lens
I think
gets foggy.
one thing that has changed in creativity is that, you know, before there's a thing, right, that you're the average of the 5 people that you roam around with.
I know
Because
where you're
we
going.
used to spend a lot of time with other people, playing around, going to school with them, in the
Working with
office,
them.
somewhere in the kitchen, somewhere in the house, or somewhere in the streets. But now if you see people, they are always on their phones. 6 to 7 hours
Every
is the
day.
average.
Oh my god, yeah, I swear to God. This daily, every single friend I know, minimum 5 hours of screen time.
Minimum 5 hours. Minimum 5 hours, 6 hours. We wake up at, you know, some
6, 7.
6, 7, whatever it is. So if you see the amount of time you're awake, it's, of course it is less than 12 hours. 12 hours you sleep and everything. Of the waking hours also, how much time are you conscious? Like some of the things that you do,
Thinking about yourself.
thinking about yourself.
Being present in the
Being
moment.
present.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, see, once you start your day, you have a lot of things to do. You have to wake up, brush your teeth, put on your clothes, fold your bed sheet,
Poop. Take a shit.
So, and these are all a structure. Like you have to do them if you want to have a stable mind. So you do this thing, then you do your work or go to college, then you come back, maybe you're into
Work out.
fitness, you go to gym. Now that takes up 2 hours of your time. You come back, travel takes a lot of your time. And then again, maybe you have to do the homework, or maybe you have extra work. Now, where is that time where you sit with yourself and think what you are? Even if people have the liberty of that time or the luxury of that time, people are using their phones.
Choose to spend the time on the phones.
So, yeah, dialing back to that argument, why I picked this is because if you have the power to control what kind of content that you see, it is really powerful.
But moderation is also important.
Yes, moderation
First of
also.
all, yeah, having that self-restraint is very, very necessary. Because
I didn't get you.
self-restraint as in the
okay.
control you said, to be able to hold yourself back from consuming something that your mind would desire. Exactly, something that is not healthy for you but you might crave for. Putting that full stop over there is something that's really necessary. Because doom scrolling, that's I think one way or another.
There are two sides to this. If you put moderation to it, I think we'll follow it for a few days, but then eventually we'll start doing it more because it is endless.
Your
it
brain
is very,
starts, what is it called?
The algorithms are so fucking powerful that we just can't escape that. So what I suggest is trying to use alternate traditional methods to source your knowledge. Or when you see some information, like what I said before, your lens gets foggy because you're consuming so much information, like the information of different ideas at once. Let's take, you are reading about a book, reading the whole book. Earlier we were talking about a single idea. The whole book is based on atomic habits. You learn everything about habits. That is the central idea. Consuming that information is the different thing. And consuming, like, let's take Atomic Habits, Psychology of Money, all those books, consuming all the ideas in 50 reels is doable in a few minutes. But when you have that many ideas, that will lead to that 50 perceptions. When you have that many perceptions on different things, your judgment gets foggy. Like 50 people say 50 things about 50.
Okay, one thing I would like to counter to that is, first of all, I think when you're consuming 50 reels, you don't get 50 perceptions. To build a perception...
Depends. That was an analogy.
Right. So I'm just saying that, I really think that when you spend 30 seconds to 60 seconds on something, you can't build a perception. You can't build shit out of it.
Create an example I just gave.
You can build a thought, if anything. Because building a perception is your way.
Not the complete thing.
Right.
A
No,
basic
I'm just
idea.
I'm generalizing it.
I think ideas can lead to a change of perception. If you are able to convey that idea in that 30-second reel, and if that idea resonates with the kind of perspective that you have right now,
and if
then
you
it
have
has
that
the ability to
credibility.
change your perspective.
Let's take Elon Musk says something. You will definitely take his word for that. Because he's a billionaire. He's like, I work 23 hours every day. I slept for an hour. Few people blindly follow that. There are people who do that.
Right. This is just a thought, but I think in essence, maybe, I would say that ideas, getting ideas, consuming ideas and thinking about them are sort of just, one by one add up to result in a perception, right? And when you are going through ideas that are thought provoking, they are modifying the perception little by little until you keep consuming the idea so much, the same genre of ideas, that the whole perception is changed.
That is how social media influence politics.
Politics?
Yeah. Like, it slowly feeds you right-wing, example, right-wing ideologies. You'll slowly be like, let's take your caste people are getting attacked. You'll get a reel. Like, what the fuck? And eventually it gets like some caste leader is trying to fight it. And it goes further. There is another leader who controls all of this.
So that
He's trying to fight that.
changes your perception.
Changes your perception. I told you earlier that I met up with a friend. He openly told me that I'm right wing, my feed is like that. And when I opened his Twitter, a Muslim guy's head got chopped.
Oh my god.
That was bonkers. I mean, Twitter has shit like that. That is another thing. But He's fine with that.
I mean, yes. What do you think, Saif? Like, we're talking about how social media really affects perceptions, affects the lens that you see the world through, your uniqueness. And how do you think, now that AI is booming, how do you think AI is...
It's more easy to make content now with
Exactly. Do you see this as something that might even, I don't know, bombard shit up?
And
Because-
this is adding to whatever you said, like when you do it in moderation. When you try to do it in moderation, the algorithm is so powerful that it somehow pulls you, and these are the effects of it. And you don't know that's happening until you realize.
I want to hear the answer from you.
I think I'll talk about the AI part later.
Yeah.
But I have an interesting point where Jay was mentioning about the political side of it. Wherein, so all, if you see the pattern of all powerful people, they all control distribution. If you see earlier times, every rich businessman used to own a news channel.
They still do. They still buy.
They still do. So every political guy you see will own a news channel. And what he wants the public to think, he will feed them through the news channel.
Wow.
Because people used to spend a lot of time watching TV. And if you wanted to reach a mass audience, you needed that television rights.
I also have a good
Now-
example with this. Earlier kings, why do you think they had coins which had their faces on it?
Distribution.
Their faces on it.
So now what's happening?
Why they'll have tattoos of their symbols or their faces?
Right.
Distribution. Now it makes sense.
So now what's happening is the means of distribution have changed from television to mobile.
Social media.
Yeah, nobody is seeing TV today. Nobody is seeing billboards. Nobody is looking at anything except for the phone. So how do you control the distribution on your phone?
Social media.
Social media.
Insta, Facebook,
And
Twitter.
if you are like the size of Elon, it would make complete sense that you would buy a platform like
fucking
Twitter.
I told you. Why I like Twitter is, I told you this, but I don't know if you listen to that. Instagram is a pictorial form of representation of whatever you're doing. But Twitter, on the other hand, it's primarily a text-based platform. So when you're writing text to keep the attention, to keep the already fucking deprived attention of kids or people in general, you need to tell good stories on Twitter.
The writing has to be engaging.
The writing has to be really fucking engaging. There needs to be proper hook, and uske baad the follow-up should match the expectations of the person. So that is why writing on Twitter, I mean it's completely off topic, but writing on Twitter and telling good stories makes the platform powerful. Makes sense why Elon chose to buy Twitter.
And,
He could have
and
bought-
recently Jeff Bezos also bought the
Washington Post.
Yeah, Washington Journal, I think so. Wall Street Journal, sorry.
Wall
Street Journal.
Oh,
Yeah, Jeff
they
Bezos
make
owns that.
good stuff on YouTube.
So if you see all of these powerful people
Distribution.
have distribution of mass distribution. And
Even
it's a good example
makes
that is
sense
happening
why
with
our politicians are being very active on social media. Let's take our Prime Minister.
yeah, he's active.
He has good amount of followers everywhere.
True.
Donald Trump.
Why do you think he's making memes?
Damn.
Elon Musk is the best example. Like you
He's
took.
so active on Twitter.
So active.
He's so active. And
And
I was just scrolling through Twitter and I was just seeing if you don't follow Elon also,
I blocked Elon and I'm still getting
gets his tweets. You still
he
see
has
his tweets.
so much power at this point.
Even if you follow him, if you don't follow him, somewhere on your timeline, you will see his tweet.
Damn.
Somehow.
So he has that control now. he can push his tweets, and what he's doing, and the person who's using this in the politics is Trump. Trump is using Elon as his weapon of distribution to help him win the elections. Elon has made
more
a
hand to hand.
True.
The government is Trump. Elon will literally he'll have fucking support.
Elon made a Twitter account saying @America, and
my ADHD is kicking in. I'm being honest. I'm getting bored of this conversation. Too much balls and stuff. What? Let's switch gears or something.
What?
Fuck social media and everything, bro. Everybody hates social media. I mean, yes, I do care. We hate social media,
But still end up using it. I think it's the best way is to use social media, not let it use us.
fuck social. I just throw everything out of my environment. If I don't want to be around something, if I want to get rid of a habit,
It's
I
the
just
smartest
remove it
way.
from my environment.
This is the smartest way.
Exactly.
I told my uncle that it is smart to just stop like if I have my phone in my room, like he is like use your willpower, self
Can I finish that?
resilience.
Can I finish that? And then 7 a.m. in the morning, first thing he is doing is opening his phone, going through reels. Self-resilience.
I hope he does not see this. Anyway, so I was like,
Maya, we love you.
I am. If I'm being smart, I'll just throw my phone away. If
You
I'm being
have
smart,
So much. Have you thrown your phone away ever?
doing the hard way is. Yeah, continue.
I don't throw my phone away, but
But not literally throwing it, just keeping it.
How
in
do you
different
deal with shit like that? When you are like, oh, amma, I can't deal with this anymore. I'll just put my phone and switch off.
He literally had 75 GB worth of data on WhatsApp and he deleted it without backing it up.
I just use WhatsApp on my PC now. My screen time is so much better now. It used to be 3 hours. It's less than 2 hours every day now.
Proud of you.
I think you distract yourself by being busy, or if you're working, I think change the device also. Changing the device also works. WhatsApp, you need it. So I access WhatsApp on my laptop, and if I'm working, I try to put the phone the backside of my screen, so that if I'm working like this,
You can't see
I can't
yours.
see the phone, so I'm not distracted.
That is why I like nothing. The lights, everything. I only get notifications or whatever shit that I need.
By the way,
I believe Carl Pei is going to be the next Steve Jobs.
For real.
I
man,
think
that-
he has the thing. I feel like he has the thing, and he has the maybe not with the vision or something, but with the kind of approach he is doing with his company and the design and everything, bring in innovation to the tech industry is, I think, which was started by Steve Jobs and which ended with Tim Cook. And
Ended? Ended after Tim Cook took over, yeah.
Yes.
Now that we're talking about nothing, I want to mention I love designs. I love the website. I got orgasm the first time I saw the website. What about you? What turns you on, man? Tell me what turns you on. Turns you on, because me and Jay, I hope
That
I can speak for
design.
the both of us. Yes, visuals. When I saw the nothing website, I was like, literally, how the fuck did they put shit like this on a phone ka thing? Then it goes for the both of us, honestly. That's the whole reason we're doing shit together.
Nothing
Visuals
is-
like that.
I love
visuals-
nothing.
Yeah, visuals when they really have the ability to actually turn you on, to make you feel like, oh my god, how the hell is this happening? Like shit you can't even dream about. What turns you on?
Turns me on.
This segment's name's gonna be What Turns Saif.
Wow. So, I think the aha moments. I think the aha moments, or when you want something to work and suddenly it works. That-
Like the SD card which was not working.
And again, the aha moment is when suddenly something clicks. Some random thing you're thinking about, and now it makes sense, and now it completely changed your perspective.
Damn.
That those aha moments and things like that.
I feel like aha moments, you always have them when you're, as we had in the first earlier discussion, you have it through iterations. Lot of iterations later,
True.
something clicks.
Because you're
whoa.
combining. You're
Holy shit, I
combining
like that! Damn.
That happened in our video a lot.
So many times, so many times. We're not going to talk about it again. No ADHD, come on. First video, literally first video, you're talking about that only.
Only. Yeah, continue.
So yeah, I think we forgot about the AI part. What was the AI
Yeah,
question?
you were saying.
Do you think AI is gonna slap our lens
No,
back
no,
into
no.
shape? That was the question. How do you
No.
think social media and AI is really gonna, fucking...
AI is helping to make more social media content. Yeah. That was the question. Since AI is booming, it is making content creation easier.
Correct. I agree.
Well,
with
what
you.
was the last aha moment you had? I want to talk about that. Fuck AI. Fuck AI.
That is literally what it does.
He doesn't do AI, Ra. He has better girls to do. Come on. What was your last aha moment?
What was my last aha
Impact
moment?
calculator.
No. That was a fun project.
Those are projects. Aha moments. What kind of aha moments did we have? I don't remember the last aha moment we had. Oh,
I think
Lily.
Yesterday when I saw the clouds, I was like, what? Literally, I was like, what?
That didn't. I don't
That was yesterday. I was going through the AU road.
know.
The ground is clear, so I could see the sky. For real.
I think I had a aha moment Friday night. So I was talking to this guy who was also intending to write a book. So he was just asking me for advice on just how to write a book, how do you write better. So while talking to him, I realized this process of how to write engaging writing. I combined this concept of what movies do to hook users, hook viewers, audience until the climax. What they do is they slowly peel away the climax part. Like, they'll slowly reveal who's the villain. They'll slowly reveal who's the supporting characters. They'll slowly reveal who's the guy who's going to backstab. So every
At the end,
little
the bananas inside.
Huh?
The bananas inside at the end.
नहीं बनाना से कावल मतलब
So every single thing that is happening is leading up to that climax scene. And in each scene he's revealing little bit of the climax. Now if you take that same concept to writing, where you have a base idea that you want to convey to the audience, but you need to explain it very easily so they understand in a very clear way. So it generally would take a one paragraph page of a thing. So what you do is you write it in a same way how you view the movie. You slowly reveal the idea layer by layer, and then in the last paragraph you reveal the complete
give the
idea.
context and go, like, push it into one thing. Like, you give a context here, then you give it is called something like in Kinds of Kindness. We were shown spoilers. We were shown that those guys have this big tub of water wherever they go. That was there, and they were really concerned about water wherever they go. They're like, do you have water? Do you have
you
enough
have enough
water?
water. There is like I have half a gallon of water, not to worry.
Yeah, and later in the movie they're like, I'm thirsty, I need water, and she just came from somewhere. That implied that she did not drink water. And after they go to their place where they had two leaders, And every day in the morning, their leaders cry in the pool. A teardrop falls into that, and they are only allowed to drink that water.
You didn't
They-
understand. So, put it simply, it's a cult. We talked this in Hanish episode also, but it's a cult anmata. Cult lo, there is a small pool. In the pool, both the cult leaders cried and filled it enough.
Not cried, there was water. The only teardrop was enough to purify that.
So it's like both the cult leaders ka, I think bodily moisture was a lot of kind of a thing in that. Their body moisture had to be, was mixed in that water entirely. Enough at least. And only that pool ka, well ka water, these cult followers were allowed to drink throughout the day. And they were literally using it as religious water. What context does
Her
it have?
daughter.
How did we come
See,
from
that-
revealing,
yeah,
giving people
that is-
orgasm one by one to
That
kind
is
of-
foreshadowing whatever's gonna happen later.
Right.
You show a point, you show context, here, you reveal something about the context. That is the aha
I would
moment.
call it context. I think he meant it in a more of a deeper sense. It is a very simple idea.
That is not straightforward.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Another thing that you should do, apart from this, revealing the
Revealing,
idea layer by layer, is you give the idea in the first 1-2 lines, like the complete idea. But
In a-
you
in
don't. You should write it in a way
That makes them hooked.
that makes them hooked, and in a way that they don't understand it completely.
They are left with questions and curiosity.
That is a good
That
thing. That
is
is a
what
very
works
good-
on Twitter.
Right.
One of the good ways to do it is to have a quote. See, if I'm writing a book on doing good things, okay, doing good things, and there's a chapter of bad and good things happening to good people. Okay, that's a chapter name. And my idea of the chapter is that if you want to do good things, if you want to know why people do good things, you should know the bad things that happen to them. Because of those bad things, they are doing good things. So if I put this line, this
As
4
the
or 5
intro.
lines that I told in the starting, it'll just give the full idea of
Context about whatever
context
you're
about
gonna-
what the chapter is, and the user won't read the entire chapter. Or what I can do is I can write it in a very complex way so that they feel they got
Sparks
the
curiosity.
idea, but they didn't completely understand it. How I can write it is, if you want to know why good people do good things, sorry. I think I wrote this and I tweeted about this. So thing is, good people find the good people find their reasons to be good in the bad things that happen to them.
Oh.
That does not at first instant doesn't hit.
It doesn't hit, but it gives you feeling of the idea that okay, there is something here, something that is getting in.
Spice is missing.
that spice is
Spice.
missing. So it sparks that aha moment in you. So now you are curious. Now you want to see. Now you want to read what's there in the chapter.
That is
the same
exactly how
methodology
Twitter
Mr.
works.
Beast uses it in his videos. If you
Who
see
uses it?
Mr.
Now
Beast.
I'm gonna throw 100 people in this pool and see who's gonna be alive.
That it's not as simple as that.
What he does this challenges where I will live in a $0 hotel, I will live in a $1 million hotel. In the first part, he will show you the $1 million hotel. You're like, this is the $1 million hotel I'm going to stay for this night. And you will see in this video how I went from $0 hotel to $100 million hotel. So in that first 1 minute, we'll take in that 1 minute, he will show you the entire hotel, entire $1 million hotel. So now you know what's going to happen, what is the end thing,
But you don't know what will happen.
what will happen in the between and everything. Again, he'll not show you the complete version of the $1 Million Hotel, how his experience was and everything. He'll just show you the parts that you will care, show you the parts that make you think that this is a $1 Million Hotel. He'll show you the chandeliers. He'll show you the champagne bottles. He'll show you
Girls, ఎప్పుడు girls మీద వస్తాడు.
he will show you the things that make you feel like, yes, this is a $1 Million hotel. So then he'll start from zero.
But your idea is the way you put it out again is very good because let me tell you a common problem that people usually come across when they present the idea in the very beginning. Okay, now I was thinking about this and the first thing that popped into my head was when, let's say, you put a concept, let's say love cult.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say we put that out. What is the idea that we're trying to put across?
That fucking love is a cult.
Love is just fucking same as a cult.
Yes.
Right? If we say that in the very beginning, people will build their own opinion, their own perspective of it. Not the perspective we are trying to show them. But when you said ki, you give hints of it, you explain it in a complex language in a way that they still get the gist, that doesn't give them the liberty to fully create their own perspective, right? So then they are still hooked to know what the fuck
The
is going
curiosity. Humans are fucking curious, dumbass fuckers.
I think gist is not the good word you can use for it. It's to tease the idea.
on.
Tease it.
Tease
Tease it a little.
Tease it.
That's it.
I love this guy. Tease it.
I love this guy.
Tease it.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
good though.
Anyway, how is the ratios going?
Ratios is a book I am writing. It's a book about how people, it will help people to make better decisions. That's my end goal of it. And my goal of it is to combine, at least have 3 ideas per page. My goal of it is to have 3 aha moments in 1 page.
Oh, that
So
is a
that-
lot of aha moments for a page, don't you think?
Yes, that's why I'm taking a lot of time to write it also.
Nice.
How long will the book take? You haven't given me a proper answer.
How long has it taken already?
18 weeks.
18 weeks.
How many months is that? 4.5 something?
Yes, around.
God damn, boy.
But this is a good experience for a book. I mean, it will take a while at least.
Writing a book. How did you even get in the mind of writing a book?
Yeah, why a book? I was gonna ask, why a book? Why not videos? Why not something other than a book?
Why did you choose to write, my boy?
My boy.
Naughty boy.
Nah, it's this one.
Zindagi na milegi dobara.
Like,
No idea.
Saif, my boy.
My boy.
What is up with you, my boy?
Yeah, why you writing, my boy?
Mr.
love
the Saif
movie,
Zadoob.
But, I mean, I had a bunch of ideas.
Lying
That-
around your head.
Yes.
Let him finish. ADHD.
I am finishing him.
So I had a bunch of ideas that were, roaming around in my head, and I didn't feel these ideas were out in the world. These are all
Scrambled around in pieces, but not put well in a place,
put
or
well
they
enough.
didn't exist
they
in the
even the
world at
pieces
all.
did
Is
not
that what you're
exist.
saying?
The pieces did not exist. So you are building the pieces so that you can finish a puzzle called ratios.
He's building his own perspective.
That is one thing of collecting pieces of knowledge which were not put together. That is one thing. Second thing is the own ideas part.
Like your experiences.
I sit down a lot and think about things that happened, not in a very like emotional overthinking way, just to analyze to understand the situation.
What could have gone better from?
Not in that way. From the start of it. Why did it occur?
What could
What
have been
happened
done
in that
to
moment? Why did I?
How to deal with a situation like this?
Yes. How? What did I say? What did they say? What happened? What led to that?
What happened? Yeah.
So I found a lot of ideas, insights maybe. Insights is a good word. Insights that I understood about decisions. Again, why decisions as the only core concept? Because I feel people put a lot of emphasis on hard work, things like hard work, luck and all of those. But all of these circle back to the kind of decisions that you make. Again, decisions...
The road you choose, the path you choose to do something.
Again, decisions are also interlinked to the kind of person you are. If you make...
Your
all
upbringing
depends on
and
your
etc.
experiences,
Yes,
the environment you have
experiences.
grown in.
Yes. Again, the kind of decisions you do create the person you are.
Your choices make you.
Choices make you.
Choices lead to habits. Your habits are what you are.
Yes. No.
Atomic habits.
Bro, read that this morning or something.
I've been reading that book since like a few weeks.
You're looping that book.
I read that thing like thrice last 1 week. I'm making a video on that.
That's a great book. That's a simple idea
Put well.
delivered well.
Delivered very well.
Delivered very well. And in a very simple way also. Okay. Habits is a thing that relates with everybody. And it's a very minute thing that people don't think about that much. Same thing with ratios, decisions. People don't think about it. But the implications of decisions, the kind of decisions that you make in your life, change your life. Change the trajectory of your life.
Why is it called ratios though?
That's a cool question. I was thinking, nobody asked me this question. Everybody is like, okay, you're making a book on decisions.
I was gonna ask, but now it's the right time, I think.
Yes. So, see, yeah, as I told you, I was dismantling every situation or everything that was happening to me or the kind of knowledge I have. What I understood was the world is not black or white. There's no good decision, bad decision. If you take one decision and you leave the other one, doesn't always mean...
area.
Yes.
It's not just that. When you are, for me, it goes like this. If you're taking a decision, you stick by it no matter what. Because you have decided it. If you don't stick by your word, that's just, you're not even respecting yourself. What's the point in that? And I think highly that, I feel like your upbringing affect you as a person initially. That's where the foundation is built. And then you have the liberty, you decide based on your upbringing, based on the kind of experiences you were around.
Been through.
Not that you chose to have these experiences, you were around these experiences. Because when you're growing up, it's all you being taken care of. But once it's you grown up to a certain extent like us, we are at an age where we can choose what we want to experience. So right now is the time we are making decisions. But right now is the time till now we've been making decisions based on everything we've experienced
before,
but these weren't experiences that we chose for ourselves.
But that affects you in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
That affects the
that
decisions
is
you
where the
make
part where
now.
you unlearn shit comes. That is where the part where, as you said, through, I don't know what you said. Sorry.
I'll just complete that part.
Go ahead.
And there's no right, left, good, bad, black, white decisions. As in, there's always... See, if you take one decision, you're sacrificing the other decision. If you choose to go to this university, you're sacrificing all of the other universities that you applied for. So, it's kind of a ratio that you're taking.
Oh
What-
my god, this is so good. Keep going.
what again, the kind of risk
You chose, like,
risk
let's
of the
say there are
ratio.
50, you chose one. So in proportionate to 50, you're choosing one.
One
So
is
the
to
ratio is 1 is
50.
to 50.
The ratio of the things of the two decisions that you
Oh,
have
I
on
get
your
it, I get it.
pedestal make the difference.
The
It is
higher
not
the...
you can't always put a structure to a decision. Like the concept of mental models, as in, if the X situation happens to you, you should do Y to it. That does not apply all the time. So if you put these two decisions on a pedestal and then you weigh them, then you pick the right decision depending upon your perspectives, the things that you know, the knowledge you have, the wisdom you gained, and everything. So depending upon that ratio of that decision,
if
two
we
decisions,
have too high like options to decide, the ratio gets diluted and the lower your judgment becomes, because you will have this fatigue. Too many options, fatigue, it's called something. You get that, and the quality of the decision you make decreases. So with ratios, you're gonna teach how...
analysis paralysis, something is
I
that.
don't know, but you will get a decision fatigue by taking
Too
if
many
you have
choices,
Too many
like, you know,
choices, your
You have
decision.
too
decision
many
gets
dishes
foggy.
on your plate. You can't focus on enjoying one.
Correct.
Even making a good decision will need... You can't make every decision. Like, let's take, we are doing a podcast. I can't make every decision, how the mic is set, how the lights are set. Not every decision
Or
can't be
to
under
even
me.
come for this podcast, we can't be considering every external factor. Just because someone didn't let us in, let that affect our thing. We can't.
Exactly.
So there has to be a boundary set all along. Decisions and all, again, they all come from what kind of experiences you go through, but there has to be a boundary that you as a person set, and only within that filtered boundary should you be dealing with decisions.
One of the powerful lessons that you can take to change your life is have this thing in your mind that it's not always what happens to you, it is always about what you make of it. See, now X has happened to you, so because of X you act like Y.
Right.
Okay. Now if you choose to, X happened to you, you choose to change that situation and control that situation, you can change the outcome.
You can make Y,
You
Y
do
square.
have the power.
Exactly, yeah.
So because of the changed outcome,
Maybe
life can change. So yeah. So yeah, again, a ratios thing ki, you know, there's no right or wrong decision. It's always a ratio between the 2 or 3 or 4 decisions that you have to make. Between them you choose. It's not the right or bad decision. That's the thing. That from that place, you know, I came up with the name ratios. So yeah.
Very interesting. I really love that.
good.
That
Like
perspective.
when you have a lot of
No, before you
continuing-
get to something, I want to ask this question.
I was finishing something.
Oh.
I told that too many options, fatigue thing. So when you have a bad ratio, like let's take you have to choose one option in 50, that is a bad ratio, and your decision will get a little not so quality. So you are gonna teach how to get that ratio down.
No, again, so you can boil it down to 1:1. Pick 2 ratios or not see
1:1. How does
1:1?
1:2 is
add
the
filters.
minimum?
Add filters, you know. See,
We can add filters,
We'll
but-
take college. We'll tap for our people to understand clearly. We'll take colleges as an example. You applied to 100 colleges. You got into all of them. Now you want to make a decision. Okay. So you add. Now the best thing to do is to add filters upon the things that you want. Let's say I only want to study in Delhi. Okay. So I add up a filter on removing all of the universities that are not in Delhi. So I remove a large chunk of those universities to 100 to 20. Okay, now I have 20 colleges. Now again, I think I don't want to stay in a college where the hostel rooms are not that good because I have OCD, something like
Stuff
that.
like that, yeah.
So again, I make a filter. Then I cut down all of those colleges whose hostels are not good. Now I'm boiled down to 5. Okay. Again with that 5, I want to choose colleges where, you know, the campus is nice. Okay. The campus is really big.
Yeah.
Or like that. A minimum, let's say minimum of 100 acres maybe. 100 acres or 50 acres campus you want.
So you're down to?
Down to 2 or 3 decisions. 3 choices. Now in those choices, you again add filters. Again filters of what you want. Then depending upon that ratio, make that decision.
Yeah, so you're going to teach how to get the ratio down, like what affects the filters.
He is not teaching anything. Did you
No,
say anything
just
about
You're
that?
giving the ideas, so the ideas are basically your
I can't
teachings.
teach anybody, man. I
No,
don't feel
they
like
are your teachings, like whatever you
his
taught
preachings,
yourself.
you could say in a way, not teachings.
preaching. Yeah,
Preaching.
Ideology.
Because he
Some-
practices what he preaches, right?
Either you have to.
Exactly. A lot of bullshit people don't practice what they preach.
You. I mean,
Maya.
Damn.
But anyways, I have this question. What do you think of like people who, go extreme with their whatever they do? Extreme, as in, extreme, I would say Kanye. He disses everything. He doesn't give a shit about anything in his music. Or
Even in real life, going like DEFCON against
cult
Jew people.
followers who take their belief to the
so
extremes.
extreme that they Jonestowns.
Oh my god.
Do you know that story?
No.
There is this
Jim Jones, he's the cult leader of People's Temple, which is the most, oh my god, cult in the history. So I'd say back in 1900 or something, there were around, around 900 people or something in Jonestown. Oh my god, Jonestown. So let me give you a little bit of context, which is People's Temple was a cult back in the day, which was run by Jim Jones. Okay, Jim Jones was the charismatic hyper leader, and then this guy literally managed to 900 people. He took 900 people. Okay, I'm gonna fucking shorten this. I feel bored hearing myself. Okay, 900 people. He took them all to a place called Jonestown and basically led them all to their deaths. And all these 900 people went ahead with them, women, children, and men alike. All of them just swallowed poison and died, blindly believing him. That guy also was found in the bodies. Great. So this is another example. Cult followers, shit like that. People who go extreme with their art, basically who are not scared to put the wild side of them into their art form. Kanye, as I would say, because with our visuals, we do whatever. Because if we think that clicks, if we feel like there is something we want to base it off of, if we feel like it clicks and it is, damn, this is good shit, this hasn't been done before. This one scene is really coming in my mind. You've seen the first video, right?
Yeah.
The Art of Being a Phonodect. And there we put a scene about being something, being someone. We used a girl, we put our eyes in that thing. We thought that was a lot of people were like, yes, squint their eyes.
I was sleeping. This guy was doing some random shit on Illustrator. So he picks out a girl's bunion and her underwear, and he was doing he separated them and he put it and he did an outline. It looked cool. And then I was doing the original idea we intended on, having a red rectangular bars and putting the eyes.
Actually intended on keeping our eyes, but only keeping a rectangular frame. So first my eyes will come and his will come. Then I was randomly teasing this on Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. I was teasing. I was experimenting with this thing with the girls, outline and everything. I was keeping images inside her apovera and everything.
And then we were like, why not do it in the video?
Exactly. We were like,
And we
he was
did
like,
it.
should we? I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. We won't release it a second time. So I don't know. We thought that was cool, but we thought it was a little extreme, a little wild.
It's too much.
Right?
And people apparently don't care.
I showed it to my mom, my cousins, my mawi, and all also saw. They didn't say anything.
What did your cousins say?
Cousins, I know none of my cousins really. So I skipped through the very inappropriate. There were 3 most inappropriate parts, and I just skipped through them. That panty scene was one thing, and in the Majlo, that void thing, sticky thing was one thing, and towards the end, the moisturizer thing was one thing. These 3 I skipped through. So, anyways, getting back to the point, people who go extreme with whatever. Now, let's say there is someone who studies academics. There are people who go crazy with it, like rocket science booming type of shit, and they're still stuck in Geetam. But they choose to go crazy with it for their self-satisfaction. Teachers who teach in a fun way, and they go extreme with it. They actually take the time and effort to come up with ideas and shit. So, what do you think about? I see all of them as artists. As end of the day, art is in everything. You see, I was rapping. I was rapping a little while ago. I was just catching a random beat. I was syncing verses with them, different songs verses with them. That is a kind of art. Me as an anchor, me hosting, me being there on a stage, that is a kind of art. Me integrating dance, music, shit like that into my anchoring, that is a kind of art. The art of integrating shit. And I don't know, when I'm seeing new things in people, when I'm always, I want to live on the extreme, and when I'm actually doing it, that is a kind of art. That is the art of making things happen. So what do you think of shit like that?
See, the thing with extreme artists is you consider them like the god level artists because of the things that they do, because of the music that they do, because of the game that they have played, or because of the marks that they have got. All of these are outputs. So, and you're talking about how crazy these people are, how extreme they are in their work, which is their input. So, the more crazy or the more extreme your inputs are, the more crazy or more extreme your outputs are. So,
I felt like he slapped me virtually. He was like, simple. That is so good. That is such a good way to
Also, the childhood filter comes here too. When we were watching that Joaquin Phoenix documentary, there he was in a literal cult when he was 3. He was in the Children of God's cult, which one I mentioned it in the last episode. So that affected him a lot in the sense how he acted in his movies, how he chose to take up roles. That was the input, and that was not input. That was a filter, and his inputs were channeled through the filter.
Oh,
and the outputs are whatever he is.
And all might not be very clear. I'll try to tone it down a little. So the thing is, let's say I had a traumatic childhood. I was reading Psychology of Money. I was reading the first chapter. So I'll give context through that. The first chapter is about how people who are born in different times see the world differently. If I was born during the 2008's Great Depression, where the economy went pooey, so if I was born at that time, I think that shit like that can happen at any time. So I would focus on keeping my money safe at all times, keeping my
money safe,
keeping my assets maxed out, and keeping my money safe. So that would be my mentality. But if I grew up in, I don't know, times when economy was at its peak, stocks were always going up, if I was born in times like that, I'd be careless with my money, right?
Yeah, I've read the chapter.
So when you see Joaquin, Phoenix. I don't even
Joaquin.
know. Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin, when he grew up, so he apparently grew up in a kind of place where they were blindly devotional to the concept of their cult leader being a
Pedophile.
an embodiment of Jesus. I don't think it's pedophile.
Yes,
But
yes.
yes.
He is a
Body of
pedophile.
whatever.
He says
But-
shit like boys and girls are meant to reproduce or something.
Oh my god, let's not get to that. I don't want to repeat conversation.
After that
That's
12.
bullshit. That guy, I hate.
That,
I
yeah,
hated
and
how
that
he
guy
was.
is an old ass guy.
Fuck him. So this basically affected Joaquin into
Joaquin.
this basically affected the Joker
Joker, huh?
into how he chose to how he portrayed himself as an actor. So when he was acting on the screen, these experiences were drilled into his head when he was in character, right? Because now an example could be, what is the example I gave about the money thing, right?
Money thing.
So if I grew up when economy was bullshit, I would focus on keeping my assets to myself. So I would go crazy on obtaining those assets, right? That is how my mentality be. So that's the kind of point he was trying to get across.
So, see, I think we as people are channels. So the way I put it is, crazy people get crazy outcomes
Through
Yes.
crazy inputs.
through crazy inputs.
With the added filters.
Yes. So what happens is, crazy things in society, if you see, are always bad. Something crazy
They are not like-
happening
they're
to you,
they are perceived bad.
perceived bad. Okay. So bad things happen to you, and because of those bad things, you do something great. Because those bad things are giving you a different input. Because not a lot, everybody has those same kind of bad things that happen to them. So I feel like in life what happens is, if you see someone achieving something really good, I feel like they had the same level of bad things that happened to them, which
Agree.
influenced
I'd
it.
agree.
Same thing goes with Phoenix.
Exactly.
He had this experience with the cult leader. That bad thing, he channeled it to his acting. Got it?
So when you're on the extreme side of stardom, you have also been on the extreme low of
Life.
the absolute pits of life.
I think there are not lows of life. Lows are.
They're the
I
shit
think-
you
I
had
don't-
to go
I don't
through.
agree with the concept of lows and ups in life.
Oh.
But
Right.
I think more than the good parts of life, bad parts in life are different. If you see, what are the good parts in life? You have a family, you make a lot of money, you buy a supercar, you buy a mansion. All of these are very structured things. Again, same
Material
thing. Society.
things.
Not exclusive to material things. The family and the relationship part also.
Okay. The societal.
Societal way of looking
Good
at
things
good
in general,
things.
every shit we
Good
enjoy.
things as in a
That are-
general perspective. So yes, there's no good or bad thing or ups or lows in your life. But I think the kind of various bad things that are there in the society, or the things that happen to you in your life, are more different than good. I think I didn't put it in a very good way, but see, if you jot down in a list of what are the possible bad things that could happen to you in a list, and what are the good things that could happen to you, or what are the good things that you think are things that you think are good, you will the bad things will always outnumber the good things. Because you don't know sometimes you don't know what is a bad situation unless it happens to you. It happens to you and they're like, yes,
I love this one.
bad.
You
Yeah.
need to know the bad to know what is good.
Yes. And everything happens, man. See, these bad things, I think, again, you can take this to what NVIDIA's co-founder said. So he was talking about, if you want to do great things, you have to have suffering. And suffering can't be, you can't get it. You can't, you can be hardworking. You can have a creative instinct by consuming a lot of creative content. But suffering is one thing that you can't get with intention. I want suffering. You can't really do that.
You can't really walk
Can't
into cotton
really
fields
do
and
that.
be like, let me be a slave.
What the hell?
You can't really
I'm sorry,
have
but-
suffering.
As an example.
Suffering
Don't mean
is
anything.
something that
That
has to
happens
happen to you.
involuntarily, without your
I wanna
intervention.
put this out this afternoon. This morning, I've told something to Saif about
That you went through suffering.
no, that how I had a shitty day yesterday or something.
You did not tell me.
You're my bitch, I'll tell you. Agu.
He is your bitch, right?
రాత్రంతా చెప్తాను అయితే he put it out so well. He said, you are privileged to be anxious about it. You are privileged to have gone through that kind of a suffering. If anything, you should think that you are gifted, that you actually got to experience something like that.
Pressure is privilege.
And the fact that he put it so well, I was like, damn, I am. So now that makes me think about, everything in a new light. That makes me, when he also said that, why are you even treating things so differently? Live in harmony.
With whatever
integrate
you are.
everything. I mean, I thought that actually makes sense. I was like, up until now, I was looking at everything differently. I was complicating it in a way. And, end of the day, I always kept telling myself that, wow, this is this much pressure. Maybe I should just quit one of these, quit one of that. But when he said, you are privileged, you are actually gifted. It's a gift to be under that pressure, because not everyone can feel that, not everyone can go through something like that. That hit me, that struck me. And now I think it's just a new light that I see anything in. Because I told you, remember, in the second episode or something, that I remember telling myself that I want to be present in the moment when I was working on myself. I want to be present in the moment. I want to be live in the now. I don't want to worry about the past. I don't want to worry about the future. I just want to live in the now. I want to keep doing things right now, moment by moment. Now, what he said, I take that as something that will, actually get me through shit. Forget about it being something that will get me through shit. But I think it's something that I can really relate to right now. Something that actually hits me. I'm like, damn, if I really have that privilege, now that if I am actually that gifted, fuck it, I'm going all in. Let me see the extent to which I'm gifted. Let me see how much pressure I can handle.
Like today we shot fucking 3 podcasts in
Let's
one day.
go!
He's your father. You're like,
So-
father, I stretch.
So the thing is, again, it all comes back to this thing ki, be the strongest channel of energy. See, if you
Everything
take
is
an
about
exam-
energy transfer.
Yes.
Everything
If
is
you-
energy transfer.
If you take an example, see, there are people who, got through a lot of bad stuff. And because of those bad shit, they took up alcoholism, they took up drugs and everything, and slowly deteriorated their life. But there are also some people like
who
Ashok,
channeled the energy.
they had bad things happen to them, and
What
they
bad things
channeled those things to something good, and that made that progress. So you have the power in you to channel that energy in a right way. That is all you need to do. To channel those energies, channel those sufferings that you have in a good way.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I feel so good, man. I feel so grateful, damn. I feel grateful for you guys for being such good channels of energy, because I honestly feel alive when I'm with you guys. You guys are actually putting your own energy out there. It's not just some mainstream energy. It's not just things random people say or do. I really appreciate that, because that inspires me to be my own version, be my own goofy ball of energy.
The greatest people are who make you get inspired by yourself. It's not that you should not be inspired by me. I should make you be inspired by yourself. That's a quality of a good person.
Of a great person.
Yes.
A conqueror, in fact.
After we'll go to Mood Indigo this year, we'll do a podcast again. We'll see how much we have changed.
No, fuck, we'll do a podcast in Mood Indigo.
That we'll do. I'm telling after.
After a...
Experience changes people.
Do you want to be a conqueror?
Today morning I sent everyone, good morning warriors. And half of the people were asleep.
Good morning, warriors.
That's the thing. When people are sleeping, you conquer the world.
Exactly.
Saif is
Anyway.
slapping. We are all gonna be conquerors someday.
Yes, sir.
Give me hearts.
Good.
Okay, well, I guess that was a
Great conversation, man. Best one of today.
Okay.
We'll see you in January.
I'll see you in January.
Happy New Year.
Bye. Mwah.
I'll see you.
Do you want to do a snippet like Hanish did in the last? What the fuck is this nama? Na frame lone ravala meriddaru.
RR.
My face is covered. Give again. High five.